Welcome to the best business show in the world.
When they say email is the only thing you own, everything else you rent, you rent, they are correct. Today's episode is all about email, how important it is, how I need to improve mine, make it even better, but how I can share some really useful tips to help you get going with email. I call it making it easy email. Okay, my name's Nigel T. Welcome to the Best Business Show. And look, hey, I've got my t-shirt on. Let me go to the camera. Can you see it? Team BBS Bestie, the Best Business Show Bestie t-shirt. Look at that. I had to get it because I don't know why. I don't know why, really. A bit crazy, but I love it. And people look at it, they don't know what BBS Bestie is at the moment, so we're all good. But email, why is it important? Okay, a few things. I'm going to talk a few things about email. When I said that email's the only thing you own, everything else you rent, think about your connection to the internet. How do you do it? A lot of people, they talk about Facebook, talk about YouTube, LinkedIn, maybe Instagram, whatever it might be. You don't own any of those. So when you look at it, you go, who owns Facebook? Facebook. Who owns Instagram? Oh, Facebook. Who owns, well, WhatsApp's going to be coming up, isn't it, in terms of advertising and Messenger? Who owns those? Facebook. If you want to do YouTube, who owns that? Google. If you want to do LinkedIn, who owns that? Microsoft. Basically, the mega corporations of the 21st century own the ability for you to communicate with other people. And if you fall foul of something, if they decide to turn it off, if they decide to turn you off, if they decide to suspend you for whatever reason, you have now got a problem communicating with somebody. I don't know if you remember something called Vine. A few years back, there were people on there that had 1 million followers. And when they decided to stop using Vine, so they basically cut Vine, what happened to those 1 million followers of those people? Well, the trouble is, how do you get in contact with 1 million people if you don't have any means of getting in contact with them? And the only way you used to do it was through a third-party tool over which you had no control. Yeah, that's it. So, imagine you had 1 million emails of all the people that watch you on something like Vine. Vine gets chopped, and you can still send them an email and say to them, hey, I know Vine's finished, but don't worry, I've reappeared on TikTok or whatever it might be. And boom, you might get 70, 60, 70, 80% of those people. So you immediately go to 600, 700, 800,000 followers on that platform and become a superstar on that platform immediately, which might help you compound the growth and keep going. How's that possible? It's because you would have owned those email addresses. All right, we're not going to go into the arguments about GDPR and other legislation that's come out about privacy. All I would say is act with integrity, as always in business. Act with honesty, as always in business. And make sure you are fair. And you have in your mind, we've spoken about this before. If not, check out other videos, podcasts that I've done, where I always think there are 3 elements to running a business, and you've got to balance all 3. They are the business, the customer, and the staff. And for many of you starting out, the staff is you on your own. And I always say, if you favor one of those over the other 2, or 2 over the other 1, you're not going to last. Why? Well, if you always favor the customer, but to the detriment of the business, so you give them such great offers, you make losses, and you can't pay yourself a wage, well, that business ain't going to last. If, however, you ignore the customer and pay yourself as much as you possibly can and ignore the business ain't going to last, your income disappears pretty quickly, and the customer gets fed up and leaves. Okay? If you balance, however, all 3, so your own needs, your own income, your own sort of longevity there, the business is making steady growth and profits, and you are caring for your customer, you've got longevity. Now, in terms of keeping that business going, the Best Business Show is all about cutting through the fog and the confusion and the overwhelm. And when it comes to email, oh my word, you can get so bogged down in it. You can get so lost in it. You can get so wound up about it. You can get so frustrated. You can get so scared. You can get so anxious about it. What if someone doesn't like my email? What if someone sends me a nasty reply? What if someone unsubscribes from my list? What if people say horrible things to me? What if no one opens it? What if no one reads it? What if? Folks, we've all got to get over ourselves, and I'm guilty as anyone on this. I'll have a splurge where I do quite a lot, and then I ease back and think, oh, everyone knows exactly what I'm thinking. No, they don't. Oh, everyone remembers who I am. No, they don't. You've got to keep in the forefront of people's attention. You've got to keep in front of them. They've got to be reminded constantly as to who you are and how you can help. This isn't talking about emails where I tell you what, look, buy my stuff. If I send enough emails, if I send 10 a day saying buy my stuff, eventually people will buy it. Maybe, but that's not really that triumvirate of three things keeping them in balance, is it? It's not really on the side of the customer. So thinking about where you are, if you are starting from absolutely zero, then you'll be thinking to yourself, I hear about emails, I hear about email lists. How the hell do you get an email? Yeah, it's a great question. How do you even start? Let's go back to basics. Point one, how do you get an email? Yeah, I'm leaving a pause. What's your immediate thought? If you're thinking, gosh, I'm not too sure, do I, I could walk, I could phone someone, I could WhatsApp someone and say, could you give me your email? Their response would probably be, why? But how do most people do it? Where have you given your email most often? Under what circumstances? And when we think back to it, and the idea of this podcast today is to just make you stop and think, hang on, how's someone got my email? And if you can work out how someone has got your email, your job now is to re-engineer that in terms of how you can do that process and create that process and put it into your business. So how have you done it? Well, think about Facebook. What did they say? They said, do you want to sign up for Facebook? It's free. At which point you think, wow, I can do all these things on Facebook, find old friends, send messages, get Messenger, do all these sort of things, post about what's happening, create a group, maybe make a page for my business. And you think, my goodness, and it's free? Okay, well, I've got nothing to lose. I'm going to give you my email. So you would give your email to that. Where else might you have done it? Maybe when you were on Facebook, you were scrolling through and you saw something that just happened to hit the right note at the right time. So there was some sort of offer there. Maybe it was something along the lines of how to get, what might it be? A free TV. Simply follow these 10 action steps. And what we found was we got sponsored and we got given a TV, and you can do it for free as well. And I don't know, something like that. Or maybe it was somebody launching a book and they say, hey, look, I've just launched this book. It's number one. If you'd like a copy, then all you need to do is put your name and address in, and I will send you one. And you just need to send me a few pounds to cover postage and packaging. What you've said is, look, in exchange for giving an email, I'm going to get something from you. And it's that law of reciprocation, reciprocity, if only they come up with an easier word than that. And tonight I'm having a glass of bubbly, so hold on a second. Oh, that's nice. The reason for that is my eldest university. He's at university, but he's not at university. He applied to be a representative for his department, had to go through interviews and all the rest of it, and he got offered the place. So, woohoo! Celebrate a small win, celebrate a big win. And given the fact that he doesn't actually like this, double celebrate. So, oh, that's nice. That's nice. I really, is it wrong to say that I think I could start the day with a glass of champagne. I think that's wrong, isn't it? I'm going down the wrong route. Anyway, back to where we are. So you have been given what they would call an irresistible offer. And in exchange for that, you are willing to give someone your email. So you think to yourself, right, okay, email list. Oh my goodness. I hear that every business needs it because you own it. You don't rent it, as we said at the beginning. How do you get that email? Well, do you remember where it says put in your first name, your last name, your email address, confirm your email address, click here to get your free whatever, free book, your ebook, your cheat sheet, your fact sheet, whatever it might be. You're willing to do that. Now, if you can create one of those boxes, which are called an opt-in box, and you can get other people to put their details in, then their email will go where? Yeah, a lot of people go, well, I'm not too sure. Well, the idea is that opt-in box and the details that go into it are linked to something called an email autoresponder. That's one of the simplest ways of doing it. What's that? It's when people say build an email list, what they don't mean is use Outlook or Gmail or anything like that, because Gmail, Outlook would shut you down. If you started emailing 1,000 people at a time with the same email, you're going to get your email account shut down. It's not built for that. So you need a specific piece of software that does it. And that's called an autoresponder. What does that mean? It means that you can pre-write your emails in a series of emails or just one standalone email. And those series are often called sequences. Okay, what does all that mean? Well, you create an opt-in box, and when you filled it in and you clicked on it and it said subscribe or click to get the free whatever it might be. When you then look in your inbox, an email has appeared almost instantaneously, yeah? And in that email is your freebie or the offer or a link to something. Now, do you think the person who created the opt-in box is sat there waiting for someone to fill in their details to go, Nigel's filled it in, quick, send an email, oh, what should I put? Oh, no. Obviously, they don't. What they do is they create the opt-in box. They create an email that automatically gets sent to anyone that fills it in using the details they have used to fill it in. And that email, when you create it, you can send a link to something, or you can attach it as a PDF, or you could send them off to watch a video, or maybe it's to, to be part of some sort of group or something like that, some sort of membership scheme. You can do all sorts. But what actually happens? Well, everyone that fills it in, their details get put into your email autoresponder, and you can start looking at these details. And what do you find? Well, it depends what you ask for. If you just ask for a name and an email, then you will get the name and the email in your list. And as more and more people sign up, your list will grow. Some people want name, address, email, and maybe some more information, and that's fine. And you can build that up. Just be aware that, just like you're probably thinking, if you had an opt-in page that asked for your address and your phone number and lots of other details, you'd probably think twice about filling it in. Make it simple on these things. So a lot of the simplest ones where you filled it in, which was simply your first name and your email address, maybe that's enough for yourself if you're creating an email list. Anyway, you put the information in, or somebody else puts the information in. That then goes, it's linked to your email autoresponder. They then take that first name and they take that email address and they compile a list of those names and emails. What does that mean? Well, it means that they're now effectively your property, and you have the details of all those people. As I say, I'm not going to go into the legal aspects of holding other people's data, but in the UK, should do, you should sign up to the Information Commissioner's Office or something like that. You pledge to hold data securely and safely and all the rest of it. So let's just assume that you're happy with that, and you can drill into that to your heart's content at a later date. But talking about emails, you are trying to entice people to give you their name and email address. Build up that address. What can you do from that point? Well, let's just say, when you sign up to something and you get something in return for it and you start getting emails, do you get one email immediately and then you get another one 3 months later? Or option B, do you find that you get another email the following day that mentions the thing that they gave you the previous day? Do you find you get one the day after that, and maybe the day after that, and the day after that, and maybe a day off, but then the day after that, and then the day after that? And in fact, these emails never stop. Yes, this is what you can do. And this is, remember, people are not sitting there thinking of these emails and thinking, oh, what could I send to Nigel today? Let me have a think. No. It's all, for the vast majority, predetermined. They have thought about it. They have written them. They have put them into the software, the email autoresponder software, and they have said, when they sign up, send them a copy of the PDF that they wanted immediately. On the second day, talk about some of the things in the PDF and maybe what they did. And then the third day, talk about something else, about yourself. So me, I'm a qualified accountant, and I love looking at numbers and seeing the sort of song that numbers sing, but I hate actually putting the numbers together. So I love interpreting the numbers, but I hate constructing the numbers. And I know some people, it's probably why I didn't really stay totally in accounting. I couldn't do that. But maybe that email, that third or fourth email, just tells you a little bit more about the person that you're dealing with, the person that you're getting the emails from. Why? Because your email should always be like it's a conversation with someone. So you often find that emails are written in a slightly one-sided conversation, but still, the best emails are the sort of chatty ones that have a bit of an intrigue, a bit of a hook, a bit of a story, a bit of a solution, a quick win for you, and building up a longer term relationship. Okay. So in terms of emails, you've got to have something that entices them in to complete that opt-in page. How do you create an opt-in page? Do I need to do coding? How do I make it look fancy? Where do I put it? What do I do? Within the autoresponder emailing software, as well as other software, and in my Best Business bundle, I go through the softwares that I recommend that make this the easiest. But a lot of that hard work, a lot of the stuff that, 10 years ago, you would have had a computing degree to kind of work out, that's been done for you. And you simply drag and drop and edit and maybe add a photo or a little video or something and a link. It's all done for you. That opt-in box is automatically linked to your email autoresponder, and some autoresponders have these opt-in boxes within the same bit of software, so that's already done without you having to think about it. It's a very clever way of trying to automate a system. If you could imagine in the old days when it was paper and pen, if you asked for people to write to you and you had to write a response to each one, if you got one, it'd be quite a novelty, wouldn't it? If you had to write a letter to them every day, it would be okay. That'd be good. If you got 5 people doing it and you had to do 5 letters a day, that'd be hard work. If you got 5,000 and you had to write 5,000 letters a day, even if it's the same letter, that would be an absolute ball ache. So the email autoresponder, what do? You take those conversations, you take the way that you want to explain things, you take how you want to reveal more about yourself, your business, how you help people, what you can do for them, why these emails are of value, why people should keep opening these emails, why these people should keep looking forward to the next email. That's down to the skill of how you write your email. It's nothing to do with how you initially get people onto your email list. Now go back to my 3 things about how to keep a business sweet, which is, I'll remind you, focus on the customer, the business itself, and the staff, and make sure you treat all of them equally. Now, when you're writing these emails, you are trying to do that. You are trying to focus on the customer as well as yourself and as well as your business. You want to make those emails as enticing and as exciting and as rewarding and as beneficial and as useful as you possibly can. But you're also building a relationship where you say, look, I've given you loads of things. Now there's a little bit here that you're going to have to pay for. And what you're wanting there is people sort of go, yeah, actually, because the value that you've explained in these emails over these sequences of the information that you are now offering is so much greater than the price that you are charging. You are talking about things that would take years and thousands of pounds that you are now saying you can do in a really short time span for a really low cost. It's an irresistible offer, and why wouldn't I buy that? That's what you're trying to do. That's what you're trying to build. But when I'm talking about emails, you, as I say, you own that. And at any point you can jump in and send another email. So yes, you may have written 10 emails to go out over the first 10 days of someone. Once they sign up to you, an automatic email gets sent to them every day for 10 days. Now, say on day 8, something terrible happens. You can jump in and create a very specific, very relevant, very contemporary email that addresses a very specific pain point at that point in time. Obviously, at the moment, you've got coronavirus, COVID-19, sweeping the world and causing great problems. If you can jump on that and say, hey, look, at this time, if you've got an email list, you need to be going out there and sending an email to all your people asking, how can you help? What is it I can do for you? What's your situation? Is there anything I can do in terms of putting you in touch with someone or sending help, or, what's the story? And that sort of might be a very different email that goes out in between a sequence, which was very much a pre-structured, pre-COVID-19 sequence, which was all about building people up to making them an offer and hopefully getting a sale. And maybe you kind of say, no, actually, I want to give some more. So you'll have seen a lot of people at the moment have slashed the prices of their courses, their info, and the best business bundle is no different. And you can find that at nigeltbest.com/bundle. COVID is hurting us. COVID-19 is hurting everyone, the world economy. And at times like this, it's great to be able to give something at a kind of rock bottom price that makes it a no-brainer, irresistible compared to the value you're going to get. You've got to go for it. But on the emails, could you imagine if Facebook suddenly went down because of whatever it is? The government maybe finds out that one of these enormous mega businesses has done something they shouldn't have done, and they just turn it off. It could happen. Who knows? And even though there's a big dispute and it comes back because it was all unfounded and it was all wrong, you might have missed out on 3 months worth of conversation with somebody whilst that all went on. If you've got emails, you can still send emails. And the importance of emails to a lot of businesses during this time where they've been sending it out is, I think, being highlighted in 2 different ways. The first way is the people that you normally get your emails from. And you know who they are. You see them come into your inbox. They're fairly regular and they're talking about stuff, and you might open 1 in 3, 1 in 5, every other one. Maybe every single one, but that would be the exception. And you kind of know where it is. And when they release something about COVID-19, saying how they're helping and how they could help you and what they're doing to support you, you kind of have some affinity to that, and you have some some sympathy, and you're quite, encouraged and engaged with that. However, I don't know about you, but I've been getting emails from companies that I was totally unaware I had signed up to. Companies that kind of I might have done business with 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and all of a sudden they were sending me emails, and these emails were all about them. That was the weird thing. They were all about them. And when I'm talking about emails and getting the conversation and trying to create a relationship and a conversation, have you ever been with people in the pre-lockdown days when you used to go out with people, and when you talk to them, oh geez, all they wanted to talk about was them? How boring. Yeah, time for a slurp of juice. Oh, that's nice stuff. Anyway, all they did was talk about them, and it was a pretty boring night out, wasn't it? Whereas if you were with people who were always asking about you and how are you and how are things and how are you coping and what you're up to and all that, suddenly it seems a damn sight more interesting, doesn't it? That's what I found about emails recently. I found that there's been two types. The people that I've got emails from who are switched on, who are savvy, who are conversationalists, who are marketing people, who are business people, who are thinking about their customer. So that triple whammy of staff, customer, business. They're thinking of the customer here, in thinking if I care for the customer, they'll care for the business, and the business will then care for me. That balances itself. Other people I was getting emails from that I hadn't heard from. So I was getting emails from, I don't know, banks saying, oh, this is how we're coping with coronavirus. And I was going, to be quite honest, I don't give a shit. You know what you're doing? It's the old radio station, WIIFM. What's in it for me? And that's what everyone's thinking. So when you're talking about the emails, and in my best business bundle, easy email section, I talk about how you can create an opt-in page, how I give you a sequence, your first sequence, so you can create a series of emails to automatically go out, and how you can put all that together. That is really important. But one of the key fundamentals I wanted to just talk about today on today's podcast was that you own the emails. You rent everything else. And at some point, they could kick you off. They could deny you access. They could say the rent's up, tenancy's over, get out of here, and you could lose everything. Whereas with the emails, they can't take that away from you. And I just wanted you to realize that, to realize the power of email, and also to realize that when you are emailing people, do it in a way that it reflects your tone, the way that you talk, your style, but also a conversation. And if you are always talking about me, the other person is going to think, why bother? I'm not interested. I want to know what you can do for me. And in those emails, if each time you can send out an email and there's a quick win for the person that reads it, so maybe a nugget of information, maybe a link to something useful, maybe an app that you've found really useful, maybe a little top tip or technique. That's great. I love those. I loved Social Media Examiner's podcast when they used to do their Discovery, an app, and I love that. But over the last, 6-8 weeks, maybe a bit longer, they've ditched it, and I miss it. I like it. I used to like that because I loved it. It was a quick win. I could go to the App Store and download something, and I loved it for that. Anyway, there we go. If you want to know more about easy email and the best business bundle, which is all sorts of things, I've got it on here. So what have we got? So this is the kind of listing. Easy email. I've got a section on social media, website wizardry, layouts and what you need in websites and how you can do it, and how some of the key fundamentals that you need to understand about a website and why you even need a website. YouTube templates, marketing mastery, so your message, how to craft it. A lot of people think if I just advertise on social media, it's like a panacea, a magic thing. No. The fundamentals of marketing still apply. Business mindset as success. That's easy for you to say. A lot of the ways you've got to get mentally ready for business, and there's some top stuff in there that help you be resilient and help you have the mindset for success on that. Software simplicity. I mentioned this before. It's the software packages that I love because I've tried an awful lot, and I've got a lot of friends and they've tried various others, and between their responses and my own experience, I've kind of narrowed it down so you don't have to faff around. You can just go straight in, pick the software, because if you're like me, you end up with about 10 and you're dithering between all of them. Now, I've gone past that and I've decided, right, it does the job, it's superb, it's elegant, go for it, take this. Yes, there may be others, and there will be other people who wax lyrical about other things, but you can get tied up in that for months, all of which waste time. So quite simply, follow this, plug into the right ones that'll do the job nicely, elegantly, right from the get-go, and then you can get rid of all that wasted time. So there's that. Sales funnels. What are they? How are they? And how to put one together. Facebook ads. I'll introduce you to Facebook ads on that. And there are a couple of bonuses in there as well. So that's the Best Business Bundle. And, there will be an opt-in page for that. And you will be asked to put your details in. And you will be, when you do that, your details will then appear on my email autoresponder, and I would send emails to you, helping you with your business, helping you focus. And the idea of that is that I help you succeed in starting and growing your business, because I want more people to do that, because I love the look in someone's eyes when it all comes together and works. I just love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. And that's why I've sort of collated. People have been asking me for ages. I said, Nigel, what do you do for this? How do you do this? Nigel, how do you do that? How do you do that? And I thought, right, I need to put it all down. I need to distill it all down, put it all down, get it there, give it out to people, and let them get on with it. So that's what I'm doing. And tonight's episode about easy email, it was just to highlight the importance of email. You own it, everything else you rent. The conversational aspect, focus on them, give them quick wins, and the beauty of it, because when everything else goes wrong, you can still send emails to people, and there you go. So hopefully that has been of great use to you. I've really enjoyed talking to you again. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want, there we go, a team best BBS Bestie t-shirt, you'll have to let me know and I might get you one. If someone does something spectacular, so maybe writes a review, shares the podcast to 10 people or something like that, then I will look at creating some more and doing some giveaways. But until then, my name's Nigel T. Best. Stay safe. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.